Hello everyone, so it's the 30th of March 2021, it's around 10 a.m. and the International Booker Longlist is being announced and I'm really excited. So I'm just going to go watch the video and let you know what I think. I'm nervous, I don't know what's gonna be there.
List, I didn't know what I was looking for, and I was repeatedly and wonderfully surprised.
I live in the slums.
I was looking for
All
everything.
night, all blood is black. I have heard about that one.
Moved and transported and challenged.
The Pear field, I also heard about that
We're
one.
looking for books that engage with
The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana and
Take us to the core. It's a homage, really.
Yes, Enríquez is there.
That exist outside our immediate environments and
The
cultures.
employees.
We were doing inventive things.
Summer Brother.
Unexpected things.
It's a Dutch one.
Surprising.
An invention of crosses, minor detail. I have also heard about that one, I think. In Memory of Memory, that's one that is qualified as non-fiction, but it's still there.
Section of remarkable.
The War of the Poor. Okay. Let's just go to the list because the video was really fast. Where is the list? Yeah. Yes. So the first one is I Live in the Slums by Chen. Not heard about that one, but it sounds interesting just from the title. At Night All Blood is Black by David Diop, which I have heard about and I'm excited about. Then The Pear Field by Nana Ekvtimishvili, I hope, which is a Georgian one that I also heard about. And since I loved the last Georgian one, maybe I will love this one too. Maybe I love Georgian literature. Then The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana and Enríquez, which is actually one that my book club is reading this month. And I was not going to read because I have read Mariana and Enríquez before. And it was very disturbing, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that one. Then When We Cease to Understand the World by Benjamín Labatut, which is translated from Spanish, and I haven't heard about. Then The Perfect Night by Ngugui, which I was hoping was going to be there, and I'm happy to be there. The Employees by Olga Ravn, I haven't heard. Summer Brother, I haven't heard, but it's a Dutch one. An Inventory of Losses by Judith Schalansky, which I also have not read or heard about. Minor Detail by Adrian, which I've heard about and I'm interested in. In Memory of Memory by Mariana Stednova, which I have heard about, and it's supposed to be a non-fiction. It's like a collection of essays, but it's very poetic. So I'm surprised it's here, but not mad about it. Then Wretchedness by Enríquez, which I don't know anything about, and The War of the Poor by Ekvtimishvili, which I also don't know anything about. So I'm going to research these ones and I'm going to make some plans then. Okay, so I have been looking a little bit more into the books and what I have available and what I don't. And there is 4 books I have available and they are all in their original languages, funny enough. So even though it's a translated book, a translated price, I probably will not read for now anything in translation. So The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana and Enríquez, and When We Cease to Understand the World by Benjamín Labatut, I can read in Spanish. I think the When We Cease to Understand the World is the right one, because the Spanish version of that, I think it's called A Terrible Greenness instead of When We Cease to Understand the World. I think it's the same book. Yeah, it was published in 2020 in Spanish, and it has been translated in many languages. So I think it's the same one. Let me know if you know, because as far as I could see in the different web pages I looked into, he only has 3 books, and this is the more recent one in Spanish, and the summary sounded similar, so I think it's the same book. So I have those 2 available in Spanish. And then Summer Brother I can read in Dutch. My library has that in Dutch. And then The War of the Poor by Enríquez I can read in French. They have the French version of it. So I can read 4 books for now. And it's kind of funny because, I am excited about the Benjamín Labatut. It sounds really interesting. It's about science, so I'm always up for that. The Summer Brother one is described as Rain Man in a book, so I'm okay with that. The War of the Poor also sounds really interesting. It's about, I think it's the 18th century or something. It's a bit like how religion, 16th century. And it's about the German Peasants' War. And I think, from what it sounds from the blurb, is like how religion can affect politics and classes. So that sounds really interesting. The Dangers of Smoking in Bed I was not overly enthusiastic about because I have read Mariana Enríquez before and it has made me nauseous. Like literally I wanted to throw up. So I'm not sure. Like that is for my book club this month actually. So I guess I will read it and discuss it with them. I was not planning to do that book club because I don't want to feel nauseous. But since it's in this list, maybe I will do that, and I have access to it in Spanish as well, so that should be okay. And then from the other ones, The Employees by Olga Robben, I have not found a copy that I can have access, which is weird. But yeah, it sounds like it's a sci-fi novel, but focusing on the workplace, which sounds interesting. I would like to read it, but I'm not dying to read it. The other one that I might just buy, bit the bullet and buy, is The Perfect Nine by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Ngugi wa Thiong'o is one of my favorite writers. He's from Kenya, and this one is supposed to be written in verse, and it's about a lot of the Kikuyu mythology. So I'm excited about that one, and I might just buy it. And then the other ones, so I Live in the Slums by Sang Shui is short stories, which is not my preferred method of reading. But it sounds interesting. The topics sound interesting. It's a bit about the clash of Western and Chinese culture and the materialistic part of things and things like that. But since it's short stories and I have checked and it's super expensive here, I cannot get it any like very cheap, so I don't think I'm gonna read that unless it makes a short list. Most of the books are quite short, by the way. Like this one is 344, but the rest is like 160, 200 pages, which is weird, but oh well. And then the next one is At Night All Blood is Black by David Diop, which is about a Senegalese man that lives in the village and then he leaves, and like what happens with that. And it's supposed to be a little bit of magical realism, which I always like in especially the African magical realism I really like. So I might read it. I think I have downloaded samples of all of the books except from The Employees by Olga Robben because I couldn't find it in Kindle or whatever. I don't know if it's out yet or not. Maybe it's not out. But apart from that, everything I have samples of, so I might take a look at that and see which ones I want to read. The Pear Field, I have heard very good things about. It's by Nana Ekvtimishvili, and the Georgian names are always so long. But yeah, this one is about post-Soviet Georgia in the outskirts of Tbilisi. And it's supposed to be quite violent as well. So yeah, I don't know about this one. Sounds interesting to me, but I'm not sure it sounds interesting enough for me to read it, unless it makes a short list, of course. And then the next one that I want to talk about is an inventory of losses by Judith Judith Schalansky. I'm sorry about all the names, I'm butchering everything, but this one actually sounds interesting and I might read it. The ebook copy is quite cheap, and it's the description I have here. It's actually a lot less about this book and a lot about the other book that she wrote, which is called Atlas of Remote Islands. It's like, I think it's a non-fiction about very remote places in Earth and like what it actually means to be remote. And I think in the previous book, Atlas of Remote Islands, she explains about this. And in this one, An Inventory of Losses, is more about the place, like the people that lived in those places. And it's supposed to be a lot about memory. I'm not sure about exactly what it's about, but it sounds really interesting. So I might actually pick that up. We will see. Then Minor Detail by Adania Shibli sounds also really interesting. It's about the Palestinian conflict and how rape is used, I think, in that conflict. And I read recently a non-fiction about that, so I'm excited to see what a fiction about that can do. So I might pick that up. And then In Memory of Memory by Mariana Stepanova. It's actually like essays. Fitzgeraldo has published it as a non-fiction in the white covers, so I'm surprised that it's here a little bit. But yeah, it's about the death of an aunt of the narrator and like the memories that are found in that place, and it mentions, like the blurb mentions a lot of artists and stuff, so it's supposed to be very artsy, which is normally not my thing, so I don't think I'm going to pick that up unless it's in the shortlist, just because it doesn't sound like my kind of thing. Then Wretchedness by Andrei Tichy. So this one, it's I don't know, because the plot part of it doesn't sound interesting to me. It's about a cellist that meets a junkie and their conversations, but then it's supposed to be about classism and the place on society of all these people, which does sound interesting, so I'm not sure. I have the sample, so maybe I will make a decision based on that. I think that's all that was in the long list. For sure I will be reading 4 of them, maybe 5, maybe 6, I don't know. But I think I will just start with the ones that are available to me at the moment and see how I go from there. I'm really excited that Ngugi wa Thiong'o is there. I think he does deserve a lot more international attention because his books are amazing. And other than that, I think I'm actually surprised there's a lot of European people in this list. I mean, there is one Chinese, then a Senegalese, Georgian, Mexican, I think, no, Argentinian. Mariana Enríquez is Argentinian. And then Chilean, Kenyan, Danish, Dutch, German, then Arabic. So I think, I don't know where Diana Sibley is from, if she's Palestinian. Then Russian, Swedish, and French. So yeah, a lot of Europeans in this list. I think there is two South Americans, 2 Africans, one Asian, and then I don't know if Diana Sibley is Palestinian or North African, but the rest are European, as far as I can see. So yeah, interesting. I am interested in several of them, so we'll see how I go with them. But yeah, I think that I'll probably won't read all of them, but I will read a big chunk of them, I think. So yeah, that's my reaction to the International Booker Longlist. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on these books and what you thought should have been there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to your comments. I'm surprised that Earthlings is not there, but I was not crazy about this book. And having Mariana Enríquez and Earthlings in the same list. Sounds like a bit too violent, maybe. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you in the comments below. Bye!